Hey family, it's Dr. Cassandra Bolar here. I hope all is going well. And in my line of work, a lot of people they ask, well, how do I know that I've forgiven someone? Because we know that forgiveness is so important. I always say that, forgiveness preserves the best version of you. It's just really hard to show up as your best self if you're still kind of holding on to resentment and bitterness. And so, I actually want to give like one of my absolute favorite definitions of forgiveness. And this is from Berkeley. They have a magazine called The Greater Good. And I'm actually just going to read it verbatim because it's just that powerful of a definition. And I really want, you to heal because as we always say, that forgiveness piece is you releasing yourself of that negative affect. And even what we've seen in the science is that the unforgiveness, it really wreaks havoc on our own emotional health as well as physical health. It can make us more prone to colds, back pain. It could really depress the immune functioning, which could have so many consequences. So I want to help you get free. Okay? And so this definition really resonates with me, and I hope that it does with you too. Okay, so psychologists generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. And with this first piece, I think it highlights something that's so important, which is that whole aspect of, a deliberate decision. And I just want to remind you that forgiveness, it is a process that starts with a decision. And sometimes it takes time for your feelings to catch up with that decision. And sometimes it's not just a decision that you make and you're one and done. Sometimes when you're triggered by a situation that reminds you of what has happened in the past, then you have to choose forgiveness again. So sometimes it's an ongoing process of choosing to forgive and giving yourself time for your emotions to kind of catch up with that process. And I always say that a way to know if you've gotten to that point of forgiveness is, can you see that person outside of that offense? Right? Can you see them? When you see them, is that all you see? Is that all you feel? And it's really the releasing of that negative affect or that negative emotion is what's going to give you the personal freedom. All right. So that's very powerful there. I'm going to keep on going because that's not the end of their definition, family. Okay. So let's keep it moving. And just as important as defining what forgiveness is, though, is really understanding what forgiveness is not. Okay. And so they say that experts who study or teach forgiveness make it clear that when you forgive, you do not gloss over or deny the seriousness of an offense against you. I think that is so important and key there, because I think sometimes, it's kind of like, well, if I forgive them, does that mean what they did wasn't wrong? If I forgive them, does that take away the pain of what they did and say that, it was okay? No, it's not giving them a pass, essentially. And it doesn't deny the seriousness of an offense against you. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. I think that's sometimes where we get stuck, that place of, condoning or excusing offenses. And then they go on to say in the magazine that though forgiveness can help repair a damaged relationship, it doesn't obligate you to reconcile with the person who harmed you or release them from legal accountability. Oh my gosh, that is so key right there. I think that, sometimes we feel, okay, if I forgive this person, does that mean I need to invite them back into my world? Do I need to invite them back into my life? Sometimes you still need to have boundaries. Sometimes that person, they may not have demonstrated that they can have close access to you. So forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Now, when we're thinking about a long-term relationship and you want to make it work, of course that, reconciliation is key and critical, but, you do want to kind of establish like what are going to be those boundaries moving forward. And forgiveness does not always equal reconciliation. And then they go on to describe the definition of it a little bit further, and they said forgiveness brings oh, this is so powerful here. So take heed to kind of this part of the definition because it's so powerful. And it says, instead, forgiveness brings the forgiver peace of mind and frees him or her from the corrosive anger. You know, when we're talking about, we're thinking about the freedom that forgiveness gives us, is the releasing of that corrosive anger, right? Because really, that's what eats at us. Right? That's what eats at us spiritually. That's what eats at us emotionally. And so that's definitely, something that you want to consider. That's the freedom. It's the releasing of the corrosive anger. Can you see that person and not want to retaliate? Then those are some clues and some hinters and some indicators. Some people say, well, how do I know? That's when you kind of know that you're going through that process. But that process takes time, and only you and God will be able to determine how fast that will be for you. So give yourself time and give yourself grace there, okay? And then they also go on to say, while there is some debate over whether true forgiveness requires positive feelings toward the offender, experts agree that at least involves letting go of the deeply held negative feelings. That's your freedom. Letting go of those negative feelings. And even some research from the University of Tennessee has found that holding on to that negativity is what eats away at us and hurts our physical bodies, right? And so in that way, they go on to say that it empowers you to recognize the pain that you suffer. So it doesn't say that, oh, I didn't suffer any pain from this. It empowers you to recognize the pain that you suffered without letting that pain define you. I'm going to say that again. It empowers you to recognize the pain you suffered without letting that pain define you. All right? And enabling you to heal and move on with your life. Oh my goodness, family, that's just such a powerful definition, and that's why I really wanted to share it with you today. Thinking about forgiveness, of course, forgiving other people, but I think another side of that coin is sometimes even forgiving ourselves, right? Sometimes we make some mistakes, and sometimes we're still kind of even punishing ourselves. But, sometimes you need to see yourself outside of your mistakes as well. Okay, so just wanted to share this with you today. I hope it was helpful. Feel free to share this video with someone who may be having a difficult time with forgiveness. I just wanted to share this definition. It's one of my favorites. So you want to take a look at it through Berkeley's work. So I hope that this helped. You guys take good care, and until next time, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.